Parties on Dulce versus Williams. Step forward, please.
18-year-old Vanessa Dulce says 20-year-old landscaper Eric Williams punched a hole in her dashboard, wrecked her car, and threatened her life.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 60 on the calendar in the matter of Dulce versus Williams. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats.
You folks were engaged to each other, according to these papers. You are suing him because you say he damaged your car, he damaged your house.
Correct.
Let's start with the car.
I purchased the car on December 6th of '97 for $6,050, and approximately within 2 weeks after I got the car, Eric did a hit-and-run situation.
What do you mean he did a hit-and-run?
We went to my friend's house to pick up a dog that we purchased for him, that we got for our friend James, and when leaving, he did not realize that a car was next to him, and he cut the wheel all the way to right, hit the car, reversed out extremely fast, and drove off.
And you were with him?
Yes, I was.
So what did you do?
I told him that we should go back and see whose car it was, because it wasn't right, and he insisted not to.
So what are you suing him for?
I'm suing him for the damages done to my car.
Well, what damage was done to your car?
The whole front driver's side fender.
You have an estimate?
Yes, I do. I also have pictures.
Now, I assume you had insurance for this?
No. My insurance won't cover it since I wasn't driving.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. Why didn't you report it to your insurance company?
In fear of what Eric might do. He told me if I was to tell anybody, do anything, then he would hurt me.
Okay, so this you say happened in December.
Correct.
And were you engaged in January?
Yes.
And February?
February was when we broke off.
When in February?
February 14th, Valentine's night.
Fine. So you were together in December for Christmas, for New Year's, right?
Correct.
Madam, I wouldn't stay with anybody 2 minutes who threatened my life if I told them about an incident. You have insurance for this. That's what you pay for insurance for.
I have only liability. It won't cover the cost of my car.
You didn't let them know the day after the incident about the incident. That's what you're supposed to do, correct?
Correct.
All right. I'm not going to let him make excuses, but I'm not going to let you make excuses either. You were with him in the car. You had a responsibility. Now, you say that she caused the damage to the car.
Yes, she did.
Well, then look here, right
she
in the
hit
eye.
a pole in a parking lot and kept driving.
That is
got to my
incorrect.
house. Got to my house and saw the damages to the car, and she left.
This incident that she's describing to you doesn't ring a
No,
note?
it did not happen.
It didn't happen?
No, it didn't.
Your Honor.
That's a complete lie.
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Kim. I heard Eric. I've been friends with Vanessa since we were in second grade. She's my best friend, and he did her wrong.
He what?
He did. He's totally making her look like. There's so many.
Just a second.
Okay.
Just a second. You know anything about this accident?
Yes.
Were you there?
I was not there. I came home from my work, and they were out front, and I said, I looked at the car. I was like, "What happened to this?" And he was like, "Oh, I hit." He's like, "Oh." I'm like, "What are you guys going to do?" And that's.
No, I didn't. Just a second. Would you speak in English, please, and slowly? You came home. You saw the two of them outside.
Yeah, they were outside smoking.
Outside smoking.
Right, they're cigarettes. Mm-hmm. And I said, "What happened to the car?" Because the car was right out front of her house. And Eric said, "Oh, I hit something." He just said something. I didn't ask, and I was like, "Oh, what are you guys going to do?" And Vanessa kind of just looked at me like, "Just, I'll tell you later," kind of look. And then later on, Vanessa said, "Oh, he just said, don't say nothing, or she'll get it." So I was just like, "Okay." But I heard Eric say, "I hit the car."
You heard him say I hit something.
Something, excuse me.
That's what you said,
Yes.
right? Sit down. Then you say that in addition to this damage to the car, he hit the dashboard of the car when he was angry about something.
Correct.
Which I do admit to.
Well,
Which
why did
shows
you hit
his
the
violence.
dashboard of the car?
Because I was fed up with her attitude, her yelling and screaming.
What was she yelling about?
Who knows? It's a different thing every day.
Well, if you hit the dashboard of the car, then you should know what that particular
I don't-
discussion was about.
I really don't remember.
Have you hit the dashboard of the car before?
No.
You hit anything else before?
No.
That's incorrect. He is hitting me.
Listen, you picked him.
True.
You picked him. I didn't pick him. You know, that's a testament to your bad judgment. First time somebody, according to you, does something like this and doesn't accept responsibility for what they do, this is serious, right?
Correct.
And I would say to myself, if I was a smart girl, I would say to myself, is he going to be responsible when we have children? Is he going to be responsible about working? Is he going to be responsible in teaching our children the right from wrong? I mean, all these things would go through my head. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
You did none of that.
Correct.
All right. So you picked him.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He's gotten violent on quite a few occasions.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Vanessa Dulis is suing her former fiancé, Eric Williams, for damaging her property and threatening her life.
Now, let's get back to you. So you have this little bit of a temper because you can't tell me what the argument was about, but you know you hit the dashboard. Now, do you have an estimate for the dashboard?
That's in with the total price of my car damages.
Can I comment on that? It
Yes,
cannot
sure.
be in with the total price of the damages because I called to try to get a dashboard and pay for the dashboard here, but it is now discontinued, which means they do not make it and it cannot be fixed.
So it just a second. So it can't be fixed.
No, it cannot.
Well, let me see if do I have a picture of this dashboard?
Yes, there's a picture in there.
Yes, there is.
Oh, I see. You mean he hit the top of the dashboard?
Yes.
This is the picture of the dashboard?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you must have been very angry, Mr. Williams.
Yes, I was.
You got to learn to control that testosterone, sir.
It's true.
Now, you also said that he caused some damage in your house.
Yes, my mother's home.
No.
Yeah. You want to tell me about that? And do you have estimates for the damage?
I have estimate. Unfortunately, I did not bring it with me.
Then I can't help you with it.
Okay. Okay. Fight broke out. This was on December 13th, day before Valentine's Day, and he got extremely enraged and violent, and he punched me in my stomach, punched me in my leg, put a pillow over my face, and thrustfully pushed down. He broke my cellular phone with his two hands in half. He punched a hole in my closet door. He ripped my engagement ring off my finger, threw them down the toilet, and flushed the toilet. He, on another incident, took his head and banged his own head into a wall, which, as you can see...
You said on another incident.
Yes.
This was before Valentine's Day?
Yes, this was before Valentine's Day.
So before Valentine's Day, he did what?
He took his head and hit it into a wall, his own head.
Probably didn't cause any damage to him.
Oh, yes, it did. He has a big head.
You didn't listen to what I said.
To me.
Oh, to him?
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Just to the wall.
Can I show you something
Listen
else?
to me.
Go ahead.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Listen to me. You're supposed to use your noodle.
True.
He, according to you, does this to your dashboard because he's annoyed. He does this to your car and untold damage to somebody else's car without accepting responsibility. He uses the wall in your mother's house as a battering ram, or uses his head as a battering ram, right?
Yes.
None of that phases you.
Oh, it phases me.
Enough to show him his walking papers.
Fear.
Fear.
Fear was more of what he might do. He's gotten violent on quite a few occasions and told me if I were to leave him, he would come, he would kill me, he would jump off a bridge, he would do all these horrible things. So out of fear, I could not leave.
He would jump over a bridge? So what do you care if he jumps off a bridge? What does that bother you? If he tells you he was going to throw you off a bridge, that I can understand. Who are you?
I'm his sister.
You're his sister.
Yeah, she says she's afraid of him to break up with him. After she broke up with him, she calls my house 5 times a day.
That's
comes
incorrect.
to my house. We have a police
I have a
report
police
that she was
report right
harassing him.
Well, let me see the police report.
She
Let
won't
me see
leave
the
him
police
alone.
report. You have an order of protection against him?
Yes, I do.
When was it issued?
24th day of February, which I have a copy of.
Can I
I see
comment
it?
on that protection from abuse
She's-
order? If
What?
she was so scared of me and she got the protection from abuse order, why didn't she turn it into the police stations?
Can I comment that if he thought that he was unguilty of that, why did he go to the court and sign it, not even go to trial?
So you would leave
That
him
way,
alone.
that way you would leave me alone.
Just a second. Mr. Williams,
Yes.
you went to court
Yes, I did.
when she filed this complaint against you.
Yes, I did.
Did you go alone or did you go with someone else?
I went by myself.
No, he did not.
Hey,
No, I'm sorry. My two friends, my
See?
little brother and my best friend, waited in the cafeteria for me.
okay, so you went with some moral support, but you went and saw a judge?
A legal assistant.
Legal assistant. And the legal assistant advised you that you had the right to go to trial on this request?
Yes, she did.
Or that you could consent to her having the protective order. Is that right?
And that's exactly what I did.
And that's what you did.
That way she would have to leave me alone.
That's incorrect.
No, that way you have to leave her alone.
Well, either way, we were away from each other.
No, that way you had to leave her alone.
Okay.
Listen. Have you called his house for any reason?
No, not.
No.
Wait,
Get up.
I have
You
called
said,
his house
yup.
only if he has paged me.
Wrong.
He has paged me
No,
the
just
other
a
day.
second.
Wrong.
Just,
no.
hey, Mr. Lease,
Yes.
if he paged you and if you were afraid of him, then you don't return his calls. Is there any reason for you
Can
to
I
return his
comment?
calls? Just a second. Is there any reason for you to return his calls?
Only if he's paging me at 4 o'clock in the morning with, like, we'll say, obscene things, which I haven't.
Just a second. So he calls you at 4 o'clock in the morning with obscene things and you call him back.
Well, I have his number blocked from my phone, so he cannot call me. But he will go to his friend's house and call me from his friend's house, which directly is where I pick up the phone and he is there on the line.
You know I don't believe you.
Well, I'm telling the truth.
No, you know I don't believe you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You think I'm giving you anywhere near...
Vanessa Dulis claims Eric Williams damaged her car and home. Eric says Vanessa is a liar.
If you're afraid of somebody and you have an order of protection, man, that's the only reason you're supposed to go to court, to get an order of protection, because you're afraid of somebody. Then if they call you threatening you, using obscenities at 4 o'clock in the morning, what you do is you go to the police and you say he has violated the order of protection. You don't return his call. You don't return his call.
I'm very fearful of him. He gets his friends to follow me around school and to give him a daily report if I go to school or not.
Then you have no reason to call him back. And I do believe that you've called the house.
Yes, she has.
That was a long time ago.
How long ago? After February 14th?
That's right.
Hey,
Sorry.
after February 14th?
Once or twice, yes.
Once or twice, yes. Oh, all right. Listen to me, sir. You're really not a very good person. When you do damage to not only her car, I would almost let her deal with it herself, but you caused damage to somebody else's car.
I didn't do that.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
Okay.
Oh, yes, you did. You caused damage to somebody else's car. They weren't looking and you just drove away. You know how irritating that is? You know how irritating it is to come out and find somebody scraped by your car, somebody damaged your car and didn't have the courtesy to put a note in your car, I'm sorry for this accident. This is my phone number where you can reach me. Irritating.
Can I please?
Irresponsible. Say
Can I please make a
nothing.
comment?
Say nothing. Irresponsible. I am not charging you, sir, for the damage to her house because she doesn't have any bills to establish to my satisfaction that they were fixed or what the estimates are. She knew she was coming to court today. She didn't bring them, so that I can't help her with them. And I also think, Mr. Lease, that you have some responsibility for the damage for your own car. Some. Because you were in the car, it was in fact your car, and you chose to remain silent. You chose to remain silent because he was your fiancé. Now, the estimate that I have is a grand total of $4,600. And I
have another estimate.
Well, let me see it.
He has it in his hand.
Let me see it.
He hasn't taken my car to get that.
Yes, I
estimate.
have.
That's incorrect.
The day after it happened.
The day after it happened.
She wasn't even there.
Hey, don't talk to each other. You're irritating me. Well, these are two completely different kinds of estimates. When did you take this car in for an estimate, sir?
Approximately a couple days after it happened.
And what prompted you to take the car in for an estimate?
She was right next door at the dentist.
Yeah.
And right next door to the dentist is a collision repair place.
So you took it in 2 days after what?
After the accident happened.
It's incorrect.
Jeff. Hey.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Madam, you think I'm giving you anywhere near $4,600 when you told me you paid $6,000 for the whole car? There's damage to one fender of the car. What do you think, I'm crazy?
I have another
What do you think, I'm out of my mind?
The bumper, too.
I have another estimate
What do you...
here.
Listen
car's
to me.
only worth
Listen to me. You know,
Friends'
you two, the
estimates.
truth of the matter is, you two people really deserve each other.
No, we
Because
don't.
you really
No.
deserve each other because
She
you,
doesn't
sir,
deserve me.
because you, sir, just said to me 2 days after the accident. 2 days after the accident. You mean the accident when she hit the pole?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Your estimate is $1,371. Her estimate is $4,700. It's probably somewhere around $2,000 to fix this whole thing. It's a pretty bad hit.
You can call the place that I have. It's a legal company.
The dashboard
I don't have
alone-
just a second. I don't have to take one estimate. I have 2 estimates here.
Right.
I have 2 estimates for the same thing, and hers does not, and yours does not include the dashboard. Right?
Okay.
Okay, good.
I also have a second estimate.
Judgment is issued in this case for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Can I have my papers?
And now the next case.
Parties on K versus Rodriguez. Step forward, please.
19-year-old preschool teacher Carrie Kay says her former best friend, 21-year-old accountant Jamie Rodriguez, cheated her by running up a cell phone bill in her name.
You 2 ladies were very good friends.
Yes.
Yes.
How old are you?
19.
19.
Yes.
And you?
21.
According to your complaint, you opened a cell phone account for your friend.
Yes.
She ran up a $1,400 bill
Yes.
and damaged your credit.
Well, it hasn't been damaged yet.
But you're afraid it will be.
Yes.
You work?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a preschool teacher.
Do you work?
Yes, I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an accountant.
An accountant. Where did you go to
Yes.
school?
Where did I go to school?
That's
I
my question.
choose not to disclose that information.
Did you get a license? Did you graduate from college? You said you were an accountant. I'm asking
Oh, I'm
these
not a
questions
certified
for.
accountant. I'm not certified.
Well, what are you?
I'm an accountant, but I'm an accountant in training. But my position allows me to work while I'm in training.
What do you need a cell phone for?
For in case there's an emergency, and also my cell phone had a pager on it, so I would use it to receive pages.
Why didn't you open up your own cell phone account?
Well, because at the time I had needed a deposit, so I had asked her, and they said to put it on a credit card. So I'd asked her if it was possible for her to make the deposit for me.
Didn't you have your own credit card?
Yes, I did.
So why didn't you put it on your credit card?
Okay, because at the time I was going to use it for something else, that I needed to do something else with it. So,
You have a limit on your credit card?
of course,
How
that's
much?
why
How much?
I choose not to disclose that.
She ran up a bill?
Yes.
The bill was how much?
146707.
I choose to disclose this. You owe her $1,467. Case is over. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge
Giannopoulos versus Pinder Hendricks. Step forward, please.
21-year-old Vicky Giannopoulos says 17-year-old Amy Pender wrecked her car when she borrowed it to get lunch for both of them.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 26 on the calendar in the matter of Giannopoulos versus Pinder Hendricks. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Miss Hendricks?
Mrs. Hendricks. Yes.
Mrs. Hendricks?
Yes.
This is your daughter.
This is my daughter.
How old are you?
17.
You're here really because the issue ultimately is whether you are responsible if I find your daughter negligent.
Correct.
The 2 of you were working together at a store, an ice cream store.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And according to this complaint, she was using your car
Yes.
because you guys got hungry for something other than ice cream,
Yes.
and you decided you wanted some Chinese food.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How many orders did we have for the Chinese food?
It was just hers.
Just yours?
We were going to share. No, we weren't. Yes, we were.
You were her boss?
In some sense of the word, yes. I was a step above her, so at the time, yes.
So you tell me how it came about that she was driving your car. Amy and I were sitting there, we were discussing that we were both a little hungry, and I am not allowed to leave since I am supervisor. So I was sitting there, we tried to get a few orders in.
You mean you tried to call it?
Right, yes. And it happened as there was a place about a mile away, and Amy said, I'll go get it if I can use your car. And I said, okay, fine. And I let her use my car, and it's less than a mile from our place of business, so should have taken like 10 minutes. About 20 minutes to about half an hour rolls by. I get a phone call. Vicki, I've been in an accident. I'm okay. The other driver's okay. It's nothing real big. I'm real sorry.
Tell me about the accident you got into.
I was turning at an intersection into a parking lot to get the food, and I turned and there was a car coming straight that I didn't see. I waited and let some cars pass.
So you were
it was
at
my
fault.
fault. Yes.
How much was the damage to the car?
I'm not exactly sure. I had a $1,000 deductible. It was more than that. I had to pay the full $1,000.
Okay, young lady. You tell me why you think that this is not your fault and your responsibility.
Okay. Well, she handed me her keys. We did not discuss ordering in food at all, and she gave me her money and said, take my car and go get me dinner. And she also added at the end, you crash my car, I kill you. She was very aware I did not have my license.
How was she aware that you didn't have a license?
She used to take me home every night.
Yes.
After work.
Yes.
And so did everybody else at work. They joked around about having to take me home all the time.
Just a second. There's a difference between taking you home and her knowing that you didn't have a license. Did you know she didn't have a driver's license?
No, I did not till after the accident.
Did you ever tell her you didn't have a driver's license?
Yes, many times. She knew.
I don't believe you. Young lady, I don't believe that you ever told her you didn't have a driver's license.
I didn't have a car and I didn't have a license, and she used to tease me about it all the time. That, I didn't have a license. Why don't you get your license? Why don't you start driving? And other people at work did.
I don't care about other people. That's a fairy story you're telling me, young lady. In any event, this is not a very difficult case. Somebody has to pay for the damage. Your daughter caused the damage to her car. Cost her $1,000. Who should pay the $1,000?
I'm not saying my daughter is not guilty here.
She is.
She had bad judgment.
Yes.
Extremely bad judgment.
And she got behind the wheel of a car knowing she didn't have a license.
Exactly.
Okay. Now I have a question for you. The other car was damaged as well?
I believe so.
The other car was
Yes.
damaged? Who paid for that?
I don't know.
We haven't heard anything from
My
her.
insurance. My insurance.
Well, so far you got a free ride with regard to the car that you damaged.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
So you don't get a free ride with regard to her car. You're 17 years old. You have a responsibility. Your responsibility is you don't do anything that's illegal. Getting behind the wheel of a car is illegal. So even if she said to you, go and get me dinner, you say, I can't get you dinner because I can't drive a car because I don't have a license. That's what you say. Sorry, I'll walk to get us dinner. Or I'll walk to get you dinner if that's what you want. You're my boss if you feel as if you want to do that. But you don't take the keys.
Well, I was under the course and scope of employment. She's my manager, and I just pretty much figured I had to do what she said.
Oh, no. And it's not the first time that you've driven a car, even though you don't have a license. Right?
Correct.
Now, the question is, are you responsible for your daughter's acts of negligence? She is a minor. Somebody has to be responsible for her acts of negligence. It's no different from what she did. And if she took a baseball and they were playing baseball and she broke out the windows in your next door neighbor's house, you would be responsible because you're her mother. Mother, father, parents are responsible.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Amy Pinder says her former boss, Vicki Giannopoulos, sent her to get lunch in Vicki's car. Amy crashed the car. Vicki wants her to pay for it.
Between this side and this side's guilty, and this side is out $1,000. You have to pay for that.
I understand that, but she's not being truthful.
Whether she's being truthful or not, your daughter is not being, A, truthful,
She's told you the exact truth here
No,
today.
she hasn't.
Yes,
Yes, she
No, no, she hasn't. Bottom line is, she damaged her car, she damaged a perfect stranger's car. She didn't pay for either one. Now she's going to pay for one. $1,000 for the plaintiff, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Here you go.
And now the next case.
All parties on Ungar versus All Reed. Step forward, please.
Independent sales agent Derek Unger claims machinist Timothy Allreed punched him in a fit of road rage.
It has been a generation since the United States of America has been involved in a war. So you know what they substituted for war? Road rage. Here we have, unfortunately, another case of combatants behind the wheel of a car. Mr. Unger, you complain that you got into an altercation with this perfect stranger while you were driving your car, and he was driving his car. As a result of which you were injured when he assaulted you. So you want to tell me the story?
Yes. On the date in question, I was driving eastbound on Santa Monica Boulevard to make a right turn and make a catering delivery in the Century City area. I made a right turn. I was
Were you driving a car or a truck?
A truck. I went to change lanes to get into a right turning lane or thereabouts, and accidentally cut the defendant off. At that time, he started giving hand gestures and
Well, when you
cursing
cut
at me.
him off, he was behind you then.
Yes, I cut him off, and he was behind me on Century Park East.
So how did you know he was making hand gestures?
Because he pulled up alongside of me and started
You
making
mean
hand
after
gestures.
you made the turn?
Right. He got mad because I cut him off, pulled up alongside of me, rolled down his window, F you, F you, F you this, F you that, and then I returned with the same gestures, F you, F you, F you that. Proceeded to roll up my window and tried to just ignore the incident and go on with my day. And I pulled down into an undergarage parking and came along a up and down gate. Stopped at the gate because it wasn't open. The defendant pulled up behind me. He was walking down the side of the cars. As soon as I saw him get to about my bumper, I exited the truck.
First mistake. Right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Sure it was. Because that's why we're
Well,
taking this slowly.
I don't think it was a mistake. I mean...
You don't think so?
Well, no, there's this big guy coming up on my car after he's just telling me he's going to kill me. Well, I mean...
So, Mr. Unger, that doesn't strike you as a mistake, sir? Here you're sitting behind the
Well, at least
wheel
I
of
could
a
run, you know?
5,000-pound truck. Right?
Okay.
You just told me you were afraid. You didn't know what he was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to me you stay in your truck. Now I'm just saying this is a point of a lesson, which is what
Okay.
you were
It's a
talking
lesson,
about.
you're
It's a
right.
lesson. If somebody is coming up to you who seems to be irrational, you stay as protected as possible. You don't get out.
Well, it's kind of like you're framing your face in the car, though. I mean, if your window's down and he comes up to the window, you got a big frame of your face.
Mr. Unger.
With a target.
Mr. Unger, why in the world would you keep your window down?
Well, it was down. It was hot.
Well, as he's walking to your car, the first thing an intelligent person would do is to roll up their window.
Okay.
All right. So you got out of your car.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? Turned around.
I turned around, looked at him, and pow, right in the face.
Okay. And as a result of that, you want to show me some medical records.
Correct.
Of your injuries, out-of-pocket expenses.
Correct.
And
I also have
and
a
some
witness
photographs.
that filled out a witness claim.
I don't read witnesses' claims.
Okay.
I speak to witnesses.
I didn't think you did.
Okay.
Here's my medical records. Here's the correspondence between my lawyer and myself. And my pictures.
Well, I want to see the pictures. I'm not interested in the letters between you and your lawyer, sir. That's between you and your lawyer. What I want to see is medical records. You went to a chiropractor.
This is correct.
What kind of medical plan do you have?
I have Kaiser.
Did you go to their doctor?
Yes, I did.
This report from this chiropractor, is this a chiropractor affiliated with Kaiser?
No, ma'am, it isn't.
This is a chiropractor that your lawyer referred you to? What? Means what? Is this the chiropractor that your lawyer referred you to?
Yes, it is. There's also a medical report in there from Kaiser.
I understand that.
Okay.
I'm just testing my reservoir of information.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The man's crying down.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Truck driver Derek Unger says Timothy Allreed punched him after they exchanged words while driving. Timothy claims he was just defending himself.
Okay, so let's hear your side of the story.
Well, I was traveling west on Santa Monica Boulevard. He was traveling east on Little Santa Monica Boulevard in Century City. And there's a line of cars that were backed up. And he, like, darted around those cars and cut me off in front of me. And and I did make a gesture at him. I made a hand gesture at him, and I was like this, and I flipped him off. And and he started mouthing words to me through the back of his window in his truck. So he got to the ticket machine first, where you pull the tickets out, and I came up behind him. He was already out of his car, and I was still rolling. I was like, I'm not going to get stuck in my car. I want to be able to defend myself.
I'll ask you the same question that I asked him.
He was threatening me, verbally threatening me. He said he was going to rip off my head and do nasty things down my neck, all this other stuff. You know what I mean.
So why did you get out of your car?
Because I felt threatened.
So then you stay in your car.
Well,
you feel threatened, then you stay in your truck. That's what a normal person would do. They would stay in their truck, but you got out of your truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
And what happened when you got out of your truck?
We came together, and he kind of lunged at me. I stepped to the side. I hit him one time.
So you hit him.
I did hit him.
So you got to pay for that.
I felt threatened.
So you got to pay for that.
Well, I was defending myself.
No, you weren't. You were both acting like fools. Unfortunately, he got hurt.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not going to just. I mean.
You're not going to just what?
I'm communicating on the road, basically. I'm like, what are you doing?
Just a second.
You know?
Just a second. Why do you feel the necessity to communicate on the road?
Because I'm driving. That's what I do for a living. I drive. I communicate on the road with people. You know?
You're not supposed to communicate on the road, sir. You are supposed to
mean
drive your car.
Sorry.
You're supposed to drive your truck. That's what you're supposed to do. And if you just let it go and say, that idiot.
I tried to let it go. I was like, tell him to calm down.
No, he wasn't angry with you. That's not logical. He cut you off, and if you had done nothing after he cut you off, he would have continued on his way and delivered his bagels, according to this. But you confronted him.
I'm not the one that pulled out and went around all those cars.
I'm not saying he was driving like a maniac. That's not what caused this problem. What caused this problem is that you chose to confront him. Dumb. And then the two of you decided to confront each other as you were entering this parking garage. And you say no?
No, I didn't.
Listen to me. If you didn't want to confront each other, sir, you would have stayed in your truck. Don't you watch television?
I was stuck at a gate, and I was stuck in a box in my car with a big, huge man coming at me, all right? With tattoos all over his arms.
And so you're frightened. And you're frightened.
Right, so I'm going to get out of the car.
Frightened, so you get out of the car.
I get out of the car, and no sooner than I turned around.
Listen, your lawyer should have sent you to a psychiatrist, not a chiropractor. In any event, Mr. Allred, you have to pay him for what you did. Now, if you have a lawsuit that didn't go anywhere, sir, with your lawyer, I don't know if I'm prepared to make him pay for that, but I am prepared to make him pay for punching in the face. For punching you in the face.
Your Honor, I was also very nice to the man. The man's crying downstairs in the garage, telling me not to have him arrested. He's got kids. It's his third time being arrested. Please don't have me arrested. Please don't have me arrested. You know, and I'm sitting there bleeding profusely, and I'm going, you know, do I still have a heart? So I go, okay, you're not arrested, okay. So I told the guy not to arrest him. He's like, thank you, I'm so sorry.
Mr. Allred, now I have a question for you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, he knows he did wrong. He deserves to pay the whole thing.
How many times have you been arrested?
Make
sure look at me. Look at me. How many times have you been arrested?
4 or 5 times.
For what?
Various things, burglary, assault.
When was the last time you were arrested for assault?
1990.
You on probation anywhere?
No.
Did you ever serve any time in jail?
Yes.
How long?
Off and on, 7 years.
When was the last time you were incarcerated?
1984.
And when was the last time you were arrested?
Last time I was arrested?
Yes.
1996.
For what?
Warrants.
Warrants for what?
Traffic warrants.
What else?
That's it.
Your Honor?
What?
Obviously, he hasn't learned his lesson. It's time to teach him a lesson.
Mr. Runger?
I'm just, you know,
Mr.
I know
Runger?
you're thinking the same thing I am, or else you wouldn't be smiling too.
Mr. Runger? You're being irritating.
I'm sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'm not saying to you that Mr. Allred isn't responsible for what happened because he hit you. Right? What I'm saying to you is you tried to make a case out of it with a lawyer. The case went nowhere. And I understand what happened with Kaiser, and I understand what happened with your lawyer sending you to his doctor, and I understand all of that stuff. And so do you, because you didn't even go to the doctor until 2-3 days, according to this, after he punched you in the face. I understand what went on. That doesn't excuse what he did. That doesn't excuse what he did. You understand that, sir?
I understand, yes.
Very
I do.
good. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. That's what happens when you close your mouth.
Judge Judy continues.
Myers versus Cave. Step forward, please.
Carol Myers says talent agent Brian Cave owes her for rent. Brian is countersuing Carol for false arrest.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 22 on the calendar, the matter of Myers versus Cave. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Ms. Myers, you lived with 2 other roommates, according to your complaint.
Yes.
And there came a time when you were leaving the country for 6 months?
6 to 8 months.
Going to Ireland?
Yes.
You decided to sublet your share of the house.
Correct.
You sublet it to the defendant. According to you, he owes you money.
Yes.
And there is a counterclaim by the defendant because he said that you had him arrested illegally. So, how much was his share of the rent?
$425 plus 1/3 of the utilities.
And he was supposed to be there, according to this, for 6 months, maybe 8.
Correct.
How many months did you actually live there, sir?
I actually lived there for May, June, July, for about 4.5 months.
Is that right?
Yes.
And how many months' rent did you pay?
I paid 3 months' rent.
Show me.
Show you? First of all, Your Honor, for June's rent,
show me.
I have a tape recorded cassette of her saying on my answering machine that I paid June's rent. That we were square on June. Do you care to hear it, Your Honor?
Just a second. Well, it may not be an issue.
I don't know.
Wait, did he pay June's rent?
No.
He owes you for June's rent?
Full rent, yes.
No, I don't.
All right, sir. Let me hear the tape, please, of statement that she made that you're square on June.
Brian, it's Carol. Okay, I've called my bank again. They did find a deposit, and I've gone over my statement for $120, June 27th. So we're square on June. You know, you did what you said. You still owe me the rest of June rent. There, however, was no deposit for $75 found. July, I'm trying to figure out with an arrow.
Just a second. Is that what you want to be? We're square on June's rent?
We're square on June's rent.
No, that's not what it says, sir. Didn't you hear the rest of it?
Well,
and I can... Just a second. You're putting it away very fast. That's not what it says. It says that you were correct, that you did, in fact, make the $125 deposit.
She is suing me for full June's rent.
Listen to me.
Okay.
That's not what you told me. You told me that she said she was square for June's rent. That's not what the tape recording said. It said the bank said that they received $125. Let's get moving with this, please.
I did make subsequent payments to her bank, which she obviously cannot find. She says that
Now, why don't you show me, sir? If you make payments to a bank, you have receipts.
I don't.
Show me.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I do not have the receipts. But I am being honest with you, and I will tell you the truth.
Well, you weren't just honest with me, sir.
Yes, I was. I said that she says that we're square on June's rent for $125.
No, that you're just adding. $125 you're just adding to your previous statement, which said that you were square on June's rent. All right. How much does he owe you for rent?
He owes me June rent, which is $425.
I'm taking off $125. $425 less $125 leaves $300 for June. What else?
For the balance of August rent, he made some payment to the police, so the balance was $35.
She is lying, Your Honor. She has lied since the beginning. She has made my life miserable. I had to live with that one, and he totally drove me crazy. First of all, he's a crystal meth addict.
Listen to me.
He's still my roommate.
I don't care. He made my life a living hell.
Listen, I'm not your therapist, sir. If you don't like where you live, you move.
That's why
But while you live there, you pay.
I did pay my rent.
Just a second. Show me.
She says that I didn't owe her for July. Now she drops it. Her statements are obviously not in order.
All right. $335 rent. Now, you say he took 2 rugs?
The rugs. During the time I was away, I've got a lot of things in my house. I got a phone call from Mr. Bauman saying that Mr. Cave had been taking rugs from my room, from other places of the house, and leaving them over the balcony stairway. And this only came to my attention. I was 6,000 miles away because, according to Mr. Bauman, these rugs kept ending up outside.
What? Just a second. Did you find your rugs when you came home?
No, I did not. And
do you have any proof that he took your rugs?
No, all I can say is that he's moving my rugs outside. And
just a second. Up.
I'm sorry.
Hey. The answer was no. You have no proof that he took your rugs. Correct?
No. I know he moved my rugs.
Okay. Moving is not taking. You have no proof. Now, what about the phone installation?
To help Mr. Cave when he moved in.
You had the phone?
I had the phone superseded into his name. So the bills, he was responsible for his bills during the time I was gone. He was supposed to sign the phone back to me. Because of whatever reason, him not paying his own bill and him disappearing, he disconnected the phone. I had to pay a $100 deposit and a $30 reconnect charge to get my phone number back and wait 3 months for that. He was supposed to sign it back to me.
Just a second. Did you pay your bill to the phone company when you were supposed to? Shh. Listen to my question very carefully, sir. When your phone bill came in once a month for the 3 months that you were there, did you pay your bill each month? The answer is either yes or no. Make sure I get an accurate answer.
Your Honor, I did. Yes is the basic answer because I am caught up with Pac Bell now.
That's not what I asked you. Do I speak English? Where do you come from? What country do you come from?
The United States, Your Honor.
Then listen, I speak English. I said each month when your phone bill came in, did you pay it?
Yes.
On time?
Except for 1 month.
So the answer is no, you did not.
No, then.
All right.
And it is all paid now.
That's not what I asked you.
Okay.
So you didn't pay it all on time. You did, in fact, pay the bill.
I did pay the
Ultimately.
bill. Ultimately.
Was that before or after you were arrested?
It was paid off before I was arrested. What sense does that make? It does not make any sense. I mean, you want to pay I pay all of my bills.
$130 for reconnect. $465.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. Cases, real people. Judge Judy. Carol Myers claims Talon agent Brian Cave stole her rugs and didn't pay rent. Brian claims living in her place was a nightmare.
Now, you have a $1,000 countersuit against her because you say that she $1,400.
Yes, Your
lost
Honor.
wages, pain, suffering for false imprisonment. Now, did you file a police complaint?
Yes, I did.
Against him?
Yes.
For what?
For the back rent due and for the bounce checks and that there was property missing from my house when I returned.
Okay. Forget rent because I don't think that that's something that the police would arrest him for.
Thank you.
I think that they might arrest him for bounced checks. Now, show me where he bounced checks.
I have here the August rent check that was bounced.
Let me see it.
And no payment for June, as I mentioned. And here's
Madam,
I'm sorry.
you don't have somebody arrested because they failed to pay a rent. That's a civil matter. Bounce checks is something else, because if somebody writes a check on an account where they know they have no money to cover it, that's a crime. So the police may take action if they have nothing else. If they have nothing else to do. New York City, they tell you to go have a good lunch someplace. Shh, I'm talking. Okay, your August rent was returned for insufficient funds. Did you know that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And the thing about the August is that I did make a money order payable to her, and I mailed it. Obviously, she doesn't know what's going on in her account.
Why did you write her a check and an account where you had insufficient funds?
At the time, Your Honor, I actually have the bank statement, I think, that shows that I had enough money in the account through the whole time, but obviously something got crossed somewhere. And I made a mistake, Your Honor, yeah.
Okay. Now tell me about it when you were arrested, sir.
I was arrested at 7 o'clock in the morning on February the 23rd. They knocked on my door and they said, "Are you Brian Cave?" I said, "Yes." They came into my apartment and I allowed them to search the apartment. They could find nothing on those rugs. And they pulled my roommate into the kitchen and they asked him, "All we really want are the rugs." I don't steal things, first of all. And then they asked me to produce the receipt for the money order that I did pay her in August. Now, I lost the receipt. I was dumb. I lost the receipt. I made a mistake.
You're like an accident looking to happen, sir. You better start taking care of your business a little bit better.
Your Honor, I have learned my lesson. Believe me, I have learned my lesson.
Very good. So now you take care of your business better? Very good. You take care of your business better, but at that time you weren't taking care of your business. You owe her $465. Your counterclaim is dismissed. That's all.
Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She is lying through her teeth about me, and she has me arrested.
I didn't have you arrested.
You had me arrested for grand theft. Look, lady, I have all of the proof.
My rugs are missing.
Your rugs are missing. You know, you're very good at the victim, lady.
And you
are the
my
best.
Property is
you are
all
the
over.
best.
I'm still missing
You should run for politics.
garage.
You know that, lady?
And now the next case.
Parties on Doro versus Castro Enriquez. Step forward, please.
16-year-old student Shelley Doro says schoolmate 17-year-old Alma Castro kicked her in the mouth, knocking a tooth out. Alma claims it was self-defense.
You're Miss Doro.
Yes.
This is your mom.
Yes.
You are Miss Castro?
Yes.
Who are you?
Enriquez.
Are you her mother?
No, I'm her aunt.
Are you a guardian?
Yes.
Why don't you two ladies have a seat over here together? Because this really involves your daughter and your niece. Do you girls know that girls fighting is very unattractive?
Yeah.
No, when I was growing up, girls didn't fight. They wrote nasty notes to each other, but they didn't fight with each other. You go to school together?
No, no more.
You did?
We did.
And according to this complaint, Miss Doro, you were assaulted by the defendant who broke your tooth.
Yes.
In the front.
Yes.
Why did you start from the beginning? Had you had trouble with the defendant before?
No, we never had trouble before. On March 4th, 97, at Sultana High School, I was approached by her about something that had happened the night before.
What had happened the night before?
One of her friends and one of my friends had gotten into a fight. Me and my boyfriend broke it up because it was at my boyfriend's house. She was not there.
Just a second. I'm going to get to you in a minute.
She was not there. I don't know what she was told. Okay, and then so she approached me. She decided that she would take it up with me the next day at school.
Oh, okay. So she approached you the next day?
Yes.
And what did she say to you the next day?
That's something, it was over a year ago, so it's really hard to remember. But I know we were arguing, and then all of a sudden she just hit me.
Where did she hit you?
In the forehead, right here. And as a result, I had a big bump on my forehead. And so I defended myself.
So you started to fight with her?
Yes. I'm not sure about how long we were fighting, but then the security guards, the proctors, they came up and they broke us up. I was on the ground. I had no way to defend myself. I was sitting on the ground with my legs in front of me, with my hands behind my back. She must have broken away or something, I'm not sure, but all of a sudden I see her boot come flying towards my face. That's when my tooth had gotten knocked out.
I had no way to defend myself.
Who put you on the ground?
3 of the security guards.
And when you say your hands were behind your back, were they handcuffed or were they tied?
They were holding my hands.
How were they holding your hands? Were they on the ground too?
There was there was 2 on the ground holding my hands, and there was 1 holding my shoulders down so I could not get up.
And when she hit you in the mouth, that's when your tooth broke?
Yes.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
She provoked this incident.
Real people. Judge Judy. Shelley Durrell wants Alma Castro to pay her dental bills after kicking her in the mouth, knocking out her tooth.
Okay. Your version.
Most of what she said was true. You know, when my friend got into a fight, my friend was on the floor, and she kicked her in the head.
You mean that was the day before?
Shh, shh, shh. Yeah.
The day before?
Yes.
What did that have to do with you?
That was my friend. And I just went up to her, and I remember what I said.
What did you say?
I went up to her, and I go, why did you do that to my friend? And I started, we started arguing back and forth. She dropped her books, and she said, what's up? Like this. And I was looking at her. She's like, come over here. What's up? What's up? Like this. So I went over there, and I go, why did you hit why did you kick my friend in the head? She said, it's none of your business, all right? So you better just this and that and this and this. And I was like, what? And then I started arguing with her, too. And I started saying, don't talk to me like that and this and that. And that's when she said, she went like this. And when she went like this, I got scared and I hit her.
Can I say something?
No. Just a second. You went like this and you hit her.
Yeah.
And you hit her in the forehead.
Yes.
And then you got into this big fight.
Yeah, we were fighting. It was crowded. It was real crowded.
Okay. But then a security guard came and broke you up.
Yeah.
Several security guards. Is that right?
Yes.
And she was on the ground.
Yes.
And then you kicked her.
Yeah, because she was kicking me too.
Just a second. You left that out. Then you kicked her. She's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And there are security guards there.
Yes.
You were still angry.
Yes.
So you kicked her in the face.
I don't know where I kicked her at. I was just kicking everywhere. I don't know. It was crowded.
It was crowded.
There was a lot of people there.
All right, just a second. Miss Enriquez, step up here. Does she live with you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Would you step up now next to your daughter? How much were the dental bills in this case?
$700 is what we ended up paying out. I've got copies of all the dental charts and the bills, and a letter from the dentist stating that she will most likely have to have this replaced by the time she's 20. My sister was the one that picked her up from school and had put the bill on her MasterCard. I've got all the bills from that.
Okay.
The amount difference between the bill there and what I show is that the finance charge each month.
Did you know her from before this incident happened in school?
No, I just saw her around school.
Did you know who she was?
Sort of, kind of. Can I have my witness come up here because she saw the whole thing?
Just a second. There is no issue as to what happened.
Okay.
There's no issue. I'm just trying to get to a little background. You did know who she was?
Sort of, yeah.
But on that day, you approached her first because you had heard that she did something to a friend of yours.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you started it, and you finished it. She's responsible, don't you think, Miss Enriquez?
No, I don't think so, because she got hurt too.
Just a minute. How did she get hurt?
Her back was hurting that day.
That's too bad. She started it. She went over. She provoked this incident. And then, Miss Enriquez, when it had been subdued, your niece went up to her and kicked her in the face.
I didn't go up to her.
Well, then you have a very long leg. How did your leg get to her face?
It was crowded.
You don't know? It was crowded.
It was crowded.
All right.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
This letter from the dentist said it may be necessary to replace the crown. So I can't issue an award based on possibilities rather than it will be necessary. That's what the dentist says. It may be necessary. I'm giving you a judgment for $1,000. $700 should cover at least the initial cost of her dentistry, some of the finance charges that you were forced to pay on the MasterCard, and a little bit for good measure. Something happens to a friend of yours, you let your friend take care of it. It's none of your business. You started the problem. And after it was quiet, and there was no longer a heated battle, you were still so angry that you caused a serious injury that's going to be permanent. Unreasonable and unladylike. And it's also unladylike to fight. Because the truth of the matter is, while you were under no compulsion to walk away, you could have. Do you understand?
Yeah, I know that.
Would have been the smarter thing for you to do. As a result of being dumb, therefore, you're walking around with a fake tooth. Right? Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy
versus Bonfield. Step forward, please.
Mary DeSilver says her daughter, Mickey Bonfield, stole her belongings after they went their separate ways. But Mickey says the conflict is really over her father and a long-ago divorce.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is number 86 on the calendar in the matter of DeSilva versus Bonfield. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mrs. Silva, this is your daughter. And you're suing her because you say that she took things from a home that you shared together. You moved out. Your daughter says she has all of the things that you left behind, that she has them in storage, that you can take them at any time, but she doesn't know where you are and you don't want to communicate with her, which is something that you seem to indicate that's true, that you don't want to communicate with your daughter. So the case is relatively simple. She's going to return the things to you, you're going to pick them up. But I've read, in reading the papers, it seems very, very sad to me that a mother and daughter have reached this point where they're standing before a court, fighting with each other and not communicating with each other. How'd that happen?
Because Mickey is very disrespectful. Anytime I would talk to her, she was very sarcastic. So I got where I didn't talk to her. So when I moved, I didn't give her my address because I didn't need any more of this treatment.
How old are you?
I'll be 47 in 3 days.
Your daughter, if she is disrespectful, didn't get disrespectful overnight. It seems to me to be a lot of history that you two ladies, grown ladies, have. Very sad to cut off a relationship with a parent.
I think part of the problem is that I got a life. I got a boyfriend. I got a second job. I got friends. And I was out doing what I wanted to do for the first time since my children and my nephew. I raised my nephew since he was 14. And once my children...
That was nice of her to do
But
that.
it was in my home, too. Yeah. But she couldn't have done it if she hadn't been in my home. She didn't have a place.
But she did raise... This was
With
your
my
son's
help.
child. This is your son's child.
But I was there, too.
I know.
But that was, even if you were there, you're the grandmother.
Right.
Grandmothers do that.
I moved to Rialto with my children because my dad came down from Seattle, and
Your mom and dad were divorced a long time ago.
Very
according
long
to your
time ago.
papers. And that's always been a source of irritation for your mom, according to your papers.
Right.
Is that true, the fact that your daughter has a relationship with your former husband?
She can have her relationship, but I don't want him brought into my life. She can keep her life separate with him and me.
Well,
but he always knows about me through her. She kept him up on my things, and I didn't want to know anything about him, and he shouldn't have been kept up on the things.
What do you
of me.
mean kept up on?
I mean, even when I had my car windows tinted, he knew that I had my windows tinted and how much it cost.
I don't know how much it
What
costs.
difference does that make? Yeah, but I mean, these are things that, as my life, I have a life of my own. I don't have a life. I mean, he doesn't have to be brought into my life.
But those seem like such inconsequential things. There has to be something more that brought you two women to a point where you're standing
there's been
before a
lot.
court.
Family, the boys. I mean, there's a lot of, she dislikes having the boys around, so my
Which
family
boys?
is really
my
parted.
brothers. My brother, the one brother, is the one that I had custody of his son for 4 years due to child abuse. My nephew asked to come and live with me. I did not ask the courts. They gave me temporary custody, and then eventually I gained legal custody of my nephew.
Were you angry with your daughter for that?
My brother is.
Well,
my brother's very angry for me for this. My nephew called me yesterday. He's now in the Army. He called me Sunday. He knows stuff that's going on. The day my mother moved out of the house, I worked all day at my second job. My boyfriend came over. We went out for dinner. We came home, and my brother had written on my boyfriend's car, "You're living with a C word as they pulled out in soap. I mean, I was at home all day.
But she left the mobile home a mess. There was water in the back bedroom that Rex came in from Elsinore to help me clean it up because it would have ruined the floor.
Yes, Mom,
and
there
Sandy,
was.
Just a second.
And Sandy also came down to help me clean the mobile home because it was dirty. I mean, there was 10 years of dirt underneath all of the appliances.
Well, that wasn't just her dirt. You lived there too.
Right,
Yeah.
but I mean, she said it was left clean.
But that wasn't just her dirt. You all
That's right.
lived there.
She wouldn't give me her name, her address, her phone number, or anything. I never had this. I still don't have her phone number. The way I found out her address was through the Postal Service. I asked for address correction.
But how would you feel when you walked in to move out things that were yours and they're gone? And it was done to make me unhappy. So now that I've made her unhappy, now she's going to back down and say, oh, yes, you can pick them up. Otherwise, if I hadn't done anything, she would not have come through and said, okay, you can have them back.
Mom walked out on September 7th of the mobile home. The last words my mom said to me was, see you, honey. No hug, no kiss. She walked off. She came to get her dog.
And the air conditioner was turned off. It was 95 degrees in the mobile home when I went to pick up my dog.
Well, then the boys had to turn it
Why
on.
didn't you say goodbye to her properly?
I said I'd see her. I said goodbye.
I have not seen or talked to my mother until today.
A case of a mother suing her daughter continues in a moment.
This will be my first Christmas.
Mary DeSilver says her daughter Mickey Bonfield stole her belongings after they went their separate ways. But Mickey says the conflict is really over her father and a long ago divorce.
But then you didn't give her your address. You won't give her your phone.
No.
Well, then you really
She's
didn't say
not only
goodbye.
she's not only walked away from me. She's walked away from my daughter and her great-grandchildren.
No, because they
I
had
had her
already turned me off.
great-grandchildren for a week when my daughter and her husband went on a cruise. My mother knew I had them. She would not call me to see my grandchildren. My grandchildren asked me, are we going to go see Grandma? And I says, no. They said, why? I says, I don't know where Grandma is. She's mad at me.
Okay, Miss DeSilva, I know that it might sound as if I'm picking on you. And I guess, in a way, I am. Because parents are supposed to give their children unconditional love. That's what my father always taught me, you know.
And Christians also.
Well, children don't always do that to their parents, because children, irrespective of their age, whether they are 20 or 30 or 40, can be selfish creatures. Well, because that's the nature of children. Because parents start out taking care of children, and some children always view their parents that way, that you're there to sort of take care of me.
Till they're 48 years old?
Yes, till they're 48, some until they're 70 if their parents live long enough. Believe me, that's true. And the reason that I seem to be coming down hard on you is because of that unconditional love that my father always taught me about, you know.
But when you send money, I mean, I even paid for a car for her daughter. See, I've done things that are not even brought out. But see, then I'm the bad one because I am now not letting her have my phone number. Before they moved to Las Vegas, I didn't get a phone number of Karen's or the kids either. But see, now that I've done it, I'm the bad one. But see,
you seem to feel that you are on an equal footing with your daughter because she's 47 years old. You're not on an equal footing. You're always going to be her mother. She's always going to be your child. And you're supposed to
take care of her?
No, not take care of her. I don't think that she wants you to take care of her, but not be as rigid as you seem to be with her.
Well, she only paid her rent, and that was it. And I mean, if the bills went up at the mobile park, or if the electric bill went up, it was my responsibility.
So what? Mrs. DeSilva. So what?
Okay.
It's not urgently important. You have a child, you have grandchildren, you have great-grandchildren. I mean, for a woman to look as wonderful as you do, to have great-grandchildren who want to see her, I mean, that's a great gift. To cut her off means cutting off a piece of your life.
This will be my first Christmas without my mother in my life.
I'm in a senior citizens apartment now, and I can live on my Social Security. And I paid off my car to make it easier for me. And I had planned to sell this stuff to pay off my new furniture. And she says, oh, it must be nice. And I says, I deserve it.
You absolutely deserve it. When you worked all your life and you reach a point where you want to keep your life simple.
When you get 68, 7 years old, you deserve to be able to sit back and relax.
Right. Well, you're going to get all your stuff back. You make arrangements to get her stuff back to her within the next 2 days.
She has my home number. She has my work phone number.
That's not a problem. You're going to get
All
her
she
stuff
has to
back
is
to her
call
within
me.
the next 2 days. Mrs. De Silva. Yes, ma'am. Lighten up. Life short. Once you cut off, it's very hard to get back.
Yes, it is.
So, don't do it. Take a minute with your daughter.
Did you read my letter, Mom? The last paragraph?
Oh, yes. But
Mom,
see,
I still love and care for you because you're my mother, and that's the type of unconditional love I will always have for you no matter what. Unconditional love is to forgive and forget on what has happened in the past and move forward. I hope we can do that.
She's ready to rule. Stay tuned. Mary De Silva says her daughter Mickey Bonfield stole her belongings after they went their separate ways. But Mickey says the conflict is really over her father and a long ago divorce.
Why don't you two ladies, without your witnesses, without anybody who's here to support you, take a couple of minutes alone together outside? The case is finished. Case is finished. Shh, listen to me. Case is finished. The property's going to be returned to her within the next 2 days. Take a minute without all the people that you brought with you. Take a couple of minutes. This case is over. Bird, would you escort the ladies outside? Leave the witnesses in here for a minute.
Sure,
And now, the next case.
Parties on Nunez versus Higgins. Step forward, please.
Maria Nunez and Joshua Higgins met at a nightclub. That started a romance rolling. Then she bought him tires for his car. Now the passion has gone and she wants her money back.
This is case number 80 on the calendar in the matter of Nunez versus Higgins. Both parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Nunez, would you please tell me why you bought him tires for $378?
The reason I bought him tires is because he said that his tires were worn out and he wasn't going to get paid until the end of the month. That was of August. And he said, if you lend me the money, I can pay you when I get paid, which he got paid at that time, August 26th. And then at that time, after buying the tires, he said that he was going to pay me right away.
Just a minute. Let's go back a second. You were dating him according to your complaint?
Yes, I was dating him.
For a very short time?
About 2 or 3 months.
When did this tire discussion come about, and how did it come about?
I think it was about a month and a half after that, after we were dating. And he asked me, if I can buy it. He said actually that if I can borrow the money. And I said, no, I don't have any money. And I said, well, I do have a credit card, but I don't want to use it because it accrues interest if you don't pay it right away. He goes, oh, well, that won't be a problem because I will pay you before that.
Okay. Did you go with him to buy the tires?
Yes, we went together. We went to Pep Boys.
And you?
Pep Boys.
Pep Boys. And you used your credit card to buy the tires?
Yes, I did.
And he didn't pay you back?
No, as a matter of fact, I did ask him. I called him, when I bought him the tires, that was on a Sunday, he didn't call me for a week. And then I called him and I said, well, what's wrong? How come you haven't called me? He goes, well, I've been having problems and I can't talk to you right now. And I said, well, aren't we, boyfriend and girlfriend? Maybe you can tell me. He goes, well, if I don't have to tell you what my problems are. And I said, okay, well, I just wanted to find out, if you're gonna pay me. He goes, yeah, I'll pay you. But he didn't tell me when. And another week passed by, and I told him again, well, when are you gonna get paid?
You called him again?
I called him again at work. He goes, well, you're harassing me at work, and I don't want you to be bothering me. And at that time, he hung up the phone. He goes, don't call me anymore.
Mr. Higgins?
Yes, Your Honor.
You driving around with a car with the tires she bought?
Correct.
Why didn't you pay her back for them?
Well, prior to going to purchase the tires, it was an agreement for me to go ahead and pay for 2 tires, which I had money for.
I didn't understand you. You want to repeat that?
I was agreed on my own willing to purchase 2 tires, which I did have money for at that period of time. Within the store, when I was making arrangements to purchase the tires, she had mentioned, well, don't I need all 4 tires? And I said, well, right now at this point, all I can afford is to get 2.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to the incident, a couple of weeks, we had the conversation regarding the issue of the tires. And
not a very romantic issue. Seemed to come up a lot in your budding relationship, your tires.
it was a conversation that was brought up. We were talking about making some arrangements of going out of town and whatnot. She was also making some arrangements about hopefully starting up a business and a career of her own. And knowing the type of business what I do is sell computers, she advised that if there's possible I can help her out and get her computers at a great deal. I told her I had no problem with that. I'll do whatever she likes, whenever she needs it, whenever she had the money, she came around to it. Anyhow, the conversation of the tires came up again. I told her that I was going to go on a certain date, and then she told me, well, can I come with you? I have no problem.
Just a second. You told her that you were going to buy the tires.
Correct.
And she said she wanted to come with you?
Yes.
Is that right?
No, that's incorrect.
Didn't sound right to me. Didn't sound like where I would want to go on a date to the Pep Boys to buy tires.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah.
No, he called me. He called me on a Sunday morning. He said, "Oh, babe, I wanted to find out if you can go with me to buy the tires because I don't have my tires are worn out and I can't use it. Can you come pick me up because I can't use the car?"
No, that's not true.
So whose car did you go to?
My car.
I drove the car to Pep Boys. How can I not use the car?
Whose car?
My car.
Did you go in his car or in your car?
I went in my car.
Did he go with you?
No, at the time he did drive his car to Pep Boys because he wanted to.
So you met there?
We met there. Mm-hmm. Actually, I was following him because we went to different places to find out about the prices, and we went to one previous to that, and then he goes, "Well, let's go to Pep Boys."
Okay, so you got there, and how many tires did you leave with, sir?
4 tires.
And how much was the total cost of the 4 tires?
About $360.
And you put all 4 tires on her credit card?
Yes. She said, hold on. She goes, if I get all the tires, you can help me get my computers.
Did you say that to him?
That's totally
a
lie.
Yes,
Just
you did.
a second.
Your Honor,
that's not even what you say here in your
a
answer,
lie.
sir.
No, that is what I said.
That's not what you say here in your answer, sir. Go ahead. Keep going.
Anyhow, so I told her, are you sure? And she says, I'm positive. As long as you give me my computer. If you can give me my computer so I can start my business, I'll get you your tires. Don't worry about it. And I said, all right. That was the end. The relationship didn't work for about another 2-3 weeks.
What do you mean it didn't work? After she bought you the tires, when was the next time you called her?
We've talked.
He didn't call me,
Shut.
Your Honor.
We've talked several times.
When she buys you the tires on a Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
when was the next time you called her?
That same day. After the purchase tires, I called her, tell her I got my car back. The tires ran great, happy with them. And if I remember correctly, we went to dinner that night.
Did you go to dinner that
I had
night?
cash.
We didn't.
So I paid for it.
You didn't even have cash. How can you buy
I
the
had
tires?
the cash. I was
Just a second. Did you go for dinner that night?
No, we didn't, Your Honor.
She's ready to rule.
She called you a week later, sir, because you hadn't called her.
No, I've called her several times. Every time I've called her, she wasn't home. And she did call me at work, and she mentioned me about the tires. And I said, well, what are you talking about? You told me not to worry about it, to help you get your computers. I thought that was the main reason she was calling. And she goes, no, well, obviously the relationship's not working, so I want my money back. And I says, I'm not going to pay your money back. I made a promise to help you get your computers. You told me not to worry about my tires. I'm not going to pay you back. I'll still help you get your computers. I had no problem with that whatsoever.
Well, if you were going out with her, sir, buying the computers and getting her a good deal on the computers wasn't going to cost you a nickel. You were just going to use whatever connections you had to get the computers at a lower price. Am I correct?
At my price, correct.
So it wasn't going to cost you any money. I mean, if this was somebody that you were dating for a couple of months, a month or 2 months, why would you think that that was an appropriate deal for her to shell out $378 for your tires and it wasn't going to cost you a red cent to do something nice for her?
Retail part would have cost her a couple more, about $700-800 for them to buy.
Well, why
that
wouldn't you
retail
want
price.
to do her a favor, sir, if you were dating her and seemed to like her enough to take her along to buy these tires? Why wouldn't you just do her a favor?
I would have even done it if she wouldn't have bought the tires.
Excuse me?
I would have done it even if she wouldn't have bought the tires. But she insisted that if I made sure that I would help her out with the computer, she would take care of the tires.
All right. I've heard everything that I have to hear. The judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of her credit card bill plus the interest that is accrued in the amount of $378.98. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. That's all.
Parties are excused. Step out, please. Step up. But step forward, please.
Sammy Free Universe, that's his name, sold Selena Thomas his BMW. But when she washed the car, she says it stopped, so she stopped the check. Now, Mr. Universe wants the world to know he wants his money.
Order, all rise. Judge, this is number 88 on the calendar in the matter of Universe versus Thomas. How you doing today, Judge?
Good. How are you, Bird?
Doing well.
Good.
Judge, the parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
I'm going to address myself to you, Miss Thomas. You purchased a car belonging to the plaintiff, BMW, correct?
Correct.
And as part of this deal, you had to get refinanced credit. You had to put a certain amount down on the car. I think the figure that is listed here is $2,000.
$5,000.
$5,000. But he lent you $2,000 to put down on the car.
To cover the difference, to make up, because I had the $3,000.
At 3, you needed 2. So the seller said to you, I will lend you the $2,000 with an agreement that you were to pay it back within a month or so.
Every time I was paid, I would pay him $500, that estimated about every 2 weeks.
You made 2 payments to him.
3.
3 payments
of $500 each, so that totaled $1,500.
Did you receive $1,500?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what she still owed you was another $500. Now you gave him a check and then stopped payment on it.
Yes, and I
now that's the question.
Right.
Why did you stop payment on the $500 check?
Well, after I sent the last payment of $500 to him, I had the car washed. The car totally shut off. I called Sammy. I said, Sammy, the car shuts off when I wash it. That's normal, Selena. You can't wash BMWs at the car dealership, at the car wash. I said, why? You can't wash them because when the undercarriage gets wet, they shut off. My sister, who's here, had to pick me up on the freeway, and she has an exotic car as well. And I told her the story. She said, that doesn't make any sense. There's a problem with the car. I then took the car in. I called Sammy. He said, yes, it's happened to me. You just can't wash the car. I took the car in. I got a long list of things that were wrong with the car. I ended up paying almost $3,000 in repair because of it. And these things were not disclosed to me. What was disclosed to me was that he had it repaired before he sold me the car. Hence, I stopped payment on that $500.
Okay. So that's the reason that you stopped payment on the $500
Correct.
check. Now, did you write a contract? The complaint indicates that there was a contract that you entered into
Your Honor,
when you purchased the car. Is that
Yes.
right? Do you have a copy
Sure.
of that contract?
Your Honor, this is basically an agreement
Sir,
that was signed by both of us.
I can read.
Okay.
It's one of the first prerequisites of this job.
That's coming with it, too. That was part of the agreement.
Ms. Thomas, you read the agreement before you signed it.
I read the agreement, but I also told him, and it's my fault for not putting in there that there's mechanical problems with the car that he did not disclose to me. He gave me the impression that the car was fine, that he had it totally up to date. So when I get all these repairs, obviously I'm not able to pay him $500 because it went into the repairs of the car.
In my opinion, she's a liar, and why I'm saying it, she's a liar.
I'm sorry that's your opinion. I don't think that's
and
not
I will
appropriate.
explain you why, too. Because this young lady used the center computer, and she personally prepared that agreement on the computer of the center that she's working in. Before we enter into this agreement, I explained her, this is a used car.
Sir, why? I'm curious.
And
It's
I
not.
told her
You
if
explained
any
to me you had it
mechanical
fixed. Listen to me.
breakdown,
You explained
she
to me
has
you
to
had
get
it
a
repaired.
warranty from
Mr.
the-
Universe, why did you sell her the car?
Because
He
Corey
couldn't
came.
afford it anymore.
Corey,
He needed to get out of the loan.
That's a lie. First of all,
That's
she
the
doesn't
truth.
know. She doesn't know
That's the
exactly.
truth.
First
Okay.
of all, don't lie on my behalf.
All right. Would you just answer?
I have to lie
all
all
the
the way.
repairs. I have the DMV
You know.
notice.
Miss Thomas, let me tell you what the problem is.
Yeah.
You buy a used car, you take a risk.
Right,
Listen
but
to
he
me.
told me.
Listen to me. You buy a used car, you take a risk. Do you work?
Yes, I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a social worker.
So you're college educated, right?
Yes.
And you wrote, or he wrote, somebody wrote
she
this.
prepared it.
Somebody wrote this agreement
On her computer.
You dictated it.
Yes.
Whoever
Conveniently.
dictated it, whoever typed it, it's really not relevant. You have an agreement that says that you're buying this used car as is, because the last line of the statement is, Selena agrees not to use mechanical breakdown as any reason not to pay Universal.
But it's not just mechanical breakdown, Your Honor. There's fees that are owed on this car.
Okay,
$1,400.
Just
this
a
has
second.
nothing to do with mechanics.
Fine. Just a minute.
Okay.
We'll get to. There are two issues. The one is.
The farmer is distressed by the heat, so he eats all the ice cream in the house. Still, the heat doesn't go away, so he picks up the pigeon and slams him down. Scared, the pigeon brings a truck full of watermelons. The farmer makes cold watermelon juice and drinks it. Still, the heat doesn't go away, so he goes to the pigeon again. Now the pigeon brings a truck full of oranges. The farmer drinks the orange juice. Still, the heat doesn't go away. Then the pigeon brings bitter gourd juice. The farmer drinks it. And finally, the farmer feels better. And starts snowing. The pigeon starts crying.
The farmer and a big pigeon were building a large rocket together. After several days of hard work, the rocket was finally ready. Then the pigeon sat inside the rocket to go to the moon and launch toward space. 2 days later, the pigeon lands on the moon. To examine the moon's surface, he digs a hole and plants an apple tree in it. After a few days, the tree grows tall and bears fruit. But the pigeon starts crying because no one liked or subscribed.
The farmer eats a burger made from the pigeon's eggs. But even then, he doesn't feel full. So he asks the parrot for food. Scared, the parrot steals a basket of gulab jamuns, Indian sweets. The farmer enjoys eating the rasgullas and finally feels full. But soon, the farmer starts having a stomachache. Angry, he beats the parrot and throws him out of the house. The parrot starts crying because no one liked or subscribed.
The monkey and the farmer work hard to build a house in the desert. The monkey brings food and water from far away, and the farmer brings bricks with great effort. Finally, the house is ready. One day, while the farmer and the monkey are resting, a huge flood suddenly comes and the farmer's house drowns. Seeing this, the monkey starts crying because no one liked or subscribed. The farmer bathes in cold ice water during the summer. When the farmer is hungry, he picks up the pigeon and slams it down. The pigeon plants an ice cream tree and pours a lot of water on it. Now the tree grows big and thousands of ice creams grow on it. The pigeon brings the ice creams to the farmer. The farmer eats the ice cream and becomes happy. But the pigeon starts crying because the pigeon became rich by stealing every day. Every morning he would throw big parties and then get back to work wherever he saw chicks. He'd grab them and make them work in his company. But one day, while searching for more chicks, the pigeon gets caught in a trap. The farmer and the hen come running. The farmer starts hitting the pigeon, demanding the truth. Meanwhile, the hen calls the police. The police arrive and arrest the pigeon. Now he sits in jail, crying. And still, you didn't like or subscribe. This pigeon builds her nest high up on a tall tower. The view from up there is beautiful, but also dangerous planes and trains pass nearby. One day, the pigeon flies off to gather some grains. While she's pecking at the food, she suddenly feels a sharp pain in her stomach and faints. When she wakes up, she sees that she has laid many eggs. She quickly rushes back to her nest. But when she reaches the tower, her nest is gone. There, a hawk is eating her eggs one by one. The pigeon returns empty-handed, only to find her eggs broken. She breaks down in tears. And still, you didn't like or subscribe. A train was speeding through the snowy mountains when it passed under a tunnel. Suddenly, some terrorists boarded the train and took control of it. All the passengers started crying and screaming in fear of death. As soon as the intelligence agency got the news, they alerted the army. Then, an army kid arrives in a helicopter and jumps onto the moving train. As soon as he lands, the terrorists open fire on him non-stop. Dodging bullets, the kid bravely takes down all the terrorists and saves everyone's lives. And still, you didn't like or subscribe. The farmer and the pigeon drink all the sugarcane juice. Then, the farmer hits the pigeon. Scared, the pigeon plants a papaya tree and pours lots of water on it. The tree grows big, and the pigeon picks the papayas, loads them into a tractor, and brings them to the farmer. The farmer eats all the papayas, but he's still not full. So the pigeon picks up the farmer and throws him into a mango orchard. The farmer enjoys eating mangoes, and the pigeon starts crying. And still, you didn't like. The farmer throws a monkey down the mountain. The poor monkey screams as he falls into the valley. A rabbit sees the monkey falling and jumps into the valley to save him. But just then, the monkey hits the ground and dies. The rabbit is heartbroken and starts crying. Suddenly, Lord Hanuman appears from the sky and brings the monkey back to life. Then the monkey starts crying. And then, no like, no subscribe,